Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today we're doing beef stroganoff. Now, this is a one-pot meal. Okay, maybe it's two because you have to have noodles too, but we're just gonna make it in one pot, and it takes a little less than 30 minutes to cook it. Now, the recipe calls for a very high quality cut of steak. But I'm actually going to use a chuck roast today that I have velveted. So I'm excited to share this process with you and share the results. Are you ready for this adventure? Let's get started. What you're going to need is 1 1/2 pounds of filet steak or boneless ribeye, or like I did, chuck roast sliced real thin, and then we're going to velvet it. I'll get there. 1 large onion diced, 10 ounces of mushrooms, 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 cups of beef broth, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 2/3 of a cup of sour cream, salt and pepper, baking soda, if you're gonna velvet, 8 to 10 ounces of pasta or egg noodles, and some chopped chives. All right, for those of you that wanted to see how you velvet, I did do the velveting ahead of time, but I took some video to show you. So what you're gonna wanna do is slice your beef as thinly as possible. Then for every pound or so of meat, you're gonna sprinkle over a teaspoon of baking soda. We're gonna mix that up really well, and then we're gonna let it sit and marinate for about 30 minutes. At the end of 30 minutes, I'm gonna fill my bowl full of water, and then I'm going to wash off all of that baking soda. I'm then going to dry off all of our pieces, and then we're gonna be ready for this cook. Now that's what they call velveting, and it actually tenderizes the meat so that you can use a tougher cut of meat like a chuck steak instead of ribeye. So that's what I did, and that's where we are now. So let's get on to this. So first thing we're gonna do is heat our skillet to medium high. All right, and next I'm gonna pour in about half of the oil. All right, and while that oil is heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and salt and pepper our beef. And we're just gonna pinch salt and pepper all over it. Perfect. All right, now once this is hot enough, we're gonna get our meat in. I'm gonna get some tongs going. We're gonna test it out. Oh yeah, there we go. So we're just gonna put these in a little bit at a time. Don't over crowd your skillet, because you're gonna wanna kind of stir fry them, she says as she overcrowds her skillet. Make sure you have a plate nearby, because as that browns up a little bit, you're gonna wanna get it out and get it onto the plate. So I want to make sure that these pieces brown, so don't move them until they start to brown, and that's gonna take about a minute and a half or so. So just be patient, wait for it. It's gonna stick to the bottom. You want it to stick to the bottom. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and give it a stir. That is exactly what we want to see. See those brown Maillard bits? Right, leave it for another 30 seconds. And once you're getting some brown on that, I'm gonna let a few more pieces get super brown. All right, that's probably good. And you don't have to worry about seeing some of that pink, because that is totally okay, because it's gonna cook some more in a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and remove all of this. We are gonna add the second half of our oil, and then we're gonna add the rest of our beef. All right, and we're gonna let it sit there for 30 seconds, maybe a minute, get brown. All right, let's check for some brownage. Ooh, yeah. There's some brown, so we're gonna give that a good stir. And if you haven't started already, now would be a good time to get your noodles boiling. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, and I'm gonna scrape up any bits that I see, get those out, and now we're gonna add our butter and our onions. We're gonna stir fry these, just bring a little color to them for about a minute or two, and while those are kind of cooking down, I'm gonna cover my meat. Oh, it's already smelling so good. All right, and now that these onions are taking on a little bit of a color, we're gonna add our mushrooms. Now today, I am cheating and using canned mushrooms. You should use fresh ones, but that's what I used, and it's fine. My husband likes all mushrooms, so he won't be too offended. All right, and as we're cooking, see how we're scraping that stuff off the bottom of the pan? That's what we want to do because that is delicious. And we want to cook these for about 3-5 minutes or until they look cooked and start to take on some color. All right, now I'm gonna pour in my flour and I'm just gonna cook that with my onions and mushrooms for just about a minute. At the end of that minute, I'm gonna slowly add my beef broth. You see how all that fond is coming up? Just scrape, 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 and you will get it all up, and it'll be easier to clean your pan later as well. But look at that. Look at all the deliciousness that is coming up. All right. We're gonna bring this just to a simmer for just a moment. When you see the bubbles start to form, this is the time that we're gonna add our sour cream and our Dijon. Now again, today I had no Dijon, so we're just gonna use regular mustard, but you use Dijon, it'll taste better. All right, now we're gonna stir this up. Now it's gonna look broken just for a little bit, but as it melts, it's gonna be beautiful. So just trust the process. Do you remember me saying make sure that your noodles are done? Yeah, make sure your noodles are done. Mine are still not done yet, and we're almost there. Now we're gonna let it come to a simmer again for just about 1 minute, and then we're gonna add back in all of our meat. Oh, looks good. Okay, here goes. All the meat, all the juices, put it in there. We're gonna give that a good stir, and then once it's stirred in there, we're gonna want to set a timer for 3 to 5 minutes. So let's just set a timer for 3 minutes. Look at that. All right, what's funny is I almost started the noodles as soon as we started making this, but I was like, no, I've got time. Start your noodles first. Look at how divine. Make sure you stir it every once in a while because you definitely do not want it to stick. About halfway through your simmer, get yourself a spoon, taste, and adjust for salt and pepper. I don't think I need any salt and pepper. That tastes darn good. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, 1 more minute. I feel like it's done. You know it's done when everything looks rich and creamy and all of the pieces of your meat are nice and the same color. So that's it. It's done. Let's scrape the bottom, make sure that nothing is sticking. And now it's time to serve. All right, here we have some egg noodles. And we're just gonna spoon this. Actually, I'm gonna use a spoon to spoon this right over these noodles. Oh man, look at how beautiful that is. Divine. Now you top it off with some fresh chives, or in my case, dried chives. Only because I always have dried chives in my cupboard and it tastes just as good. And there you have it. Let's take a closer look. Look at how creamy and fantastic that looks. You see it? And there you have it. In less than 30 minutes, a delicious steak stroganoff dinner is ready to go right from the skillet. Just 1 pot. And it is creamy, it is delicious, it is heartwarming, it is so good. It's so hot. And because we use that velveting technique, the beef is so tender. It literally tastes like the broccoli beef from Chinese food, how it's really soft and tender because we use that velveting method. It is such a good recipe, such a great go-to for a weeknight meal. Less than 30 minutes, the whole house is fed. It's so good. All right, you guys, if you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do adventures all over the kitchen with Instant Pots, sous vide, on the stove, in the oven, at the grill, whatever. And I'm always looking for ideas, so if you have any for me, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, you guys, I'm gonna go feed my family. See you later. Bye.